Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well and teach well. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect out there. I'm your brother Taziah Warren from the Great Millstone Church here in Birmingham, Alabama. And call out Yahweh Yahweh Shai. The Spirit jumped on me just to blow the trumpet, and warn you Israelites, man, you so-called Black, Latino, and Native Americans, that the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is about to return, man. All right. And I was just up, and just came across this article, and, what the scriptures say, hey, if you love me, feed my sheep. Also it say, in Joel 2, blow ye the trumpet in Zion. All right, sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Okay, and the trumpet is being blown now, man, warning you Israelites, man, Salakia, warning you Israelites, man, that the Lord is about to return, man. All right, but before his return, you got to have a time like no other, man, the time of Jacob's trouble, the worst time in human history. All right, also you got to have the implementation of the MOTB, the charagma, the micro C-hip, okay, as well as other plagues, the famine, more pestilence, a lot of death and destruction is coming, man. All right. Well, the scripture says the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Okay. Well, it's about to really get serious out here, man. All right. And this is one of the signs that the Lord is about to return, man. All right. This is on End Time Headline. This was just 43 minutes ago. 3.0 magnitude earthquake strikes New Jersey. Tremors felt in parts of New York. All right, it says a small earthquake rocked parts of New Jersey and New York on Saturday night, according to officials. Hashtag earthquake, hashtag NJQuake, hashtag birth pains. All right. So again, man, this is a sign that the Lord is about to return, man. All right, we're going to go ahead and just grab it real quick. Just something I was up on my watch, and what the scripture says, I made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words of my mouth and give them warning from me. Okay, this is a warning from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that he's about to return, man. Okay, and that you should be getting right, man. Okay, begging for mercy, man. All right, this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? All right, so the disciples came to Yahweh Shai and asked him, what's going to be a sign of when he's about to return? All right, and you drop down to verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and we see that, Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Israel, Iran. All right, and there shall be famines. Okay, we see the beginning stage of the famine, all these different food recalls, food shortages. All right, it says, and pestilences. All right, we see that as well, all these different diseases. You got the Marburg, the razor throat disease, listeria outbreaks. All right. And this is the point. And earthquakes in diverse places. And that's what you got, man. An earthquake in New Jersey. Okay. And there was also earthquakes that happened this week. Let me see. What was it at exactly? Salaki, bear with me. All right, call out Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Just 2 days ago, swarm of earthquakes rattled Southern California's inland empire. All right, then you just had the one in Russia. So we're seeing these earthquakes, man. They're only going to get more frequent. and more intense. All right. What the scripture says, greater evils than these shall be done. Okay, so you're gonna have stronger earthquakes, man. All right, and that's the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai visiting the world which He made, man. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, cause it's definitely Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai visiting this place, man. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake. All right, and we see that, man. All these earthquakes and great noise with storm and tempest. We see that as well. All these different floods, these different storms. All right, and the flame of devouring fire, and we see that as well, man. The Grand Canyon, got these different fires. All right, and it's only gonna get worse, man. Okay, we're going into some very dangerous times, man. You know what the scripture says, that in the last days perilous times shall come, dangerous times, man. All right, to where an earthquake could come all of a sudden, man, and just fuck some shit up, man. Earthquake, tsunami, tornado, whatever the case may be, man. That's why we gotta constantly pray, man. The scripture says, watch and pray, man. And what are we watching for? The prophecies. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get that second Ezra 9 real quick. All right. Because the scriptures tells us to be sober and watch unto prayer, man. All right. We should be watching and praying, man, that we be delivered, man, from all these horrors that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is about to bring. All right. This is second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. All right. And how do you measure the times? All right. By the way of the prophecies. All right. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we just seen that the Lord said he will visit thee with storm and tempest. All right, earthquakes. All right. Reading on verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. And we see both of those, man. We see earthquakes and uproars of the people, these different protests, man. But again, they're only going to intensify. All right, in verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. That's right, man. That's when you're going to get it, man. All right? When it's too late, man. All right? That's why we should be constantly praying, begging Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for mercy, man. As well as watching for the prophecies, man, because the Lord is about to return, man. Okay, and he's going to catch a lot of people with their pants down because they weren't watching, just like in the days of Noah. Okay, what the scripture says, they knew not until the day the flood came, man. Okay, so again, man, watch and pray, man. The scriptures tells us to pray without ceasing. We should really be praying that we be delivered in these evil times, man, because it's about to get real bad out here, man. The power's about to go out. It's not going to be no food. It's going to be anarchy, man. Okay? So again, man, pray, man. This is a warning, all right, that the Lord is about to return. Okay? But before his return, man, shit going to get real bad, man. Okay? So, yeah, man, Lord willing, this video was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and infinite praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well and teach well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Till next time, Shalom.